guys, welcome back. I just got in June's box and we're gonna open up this guy and see what wonderful goodies it has for us. There we go. This is the Sketchbox premiere for June. Okay, let's see what we're gonna be working with. Looks like this month is going to focus on, doesn't seem like there's one subject matter based on the title of the box. It's just called Premiere and for June. So let's flip it over and see what we got. Looks like we got a fun water set, some water, some brush, some fine inks. Looks like we're gonna do a mixed media piece. Sounds like a lot of fun. So here is the artwork for today, where it just focuses on some really cool letter art using the materials. And here is the artist that did this work. Fantastic. Let's jump right in. First up, we have a Monami Twin Brush Set. This piece comes with dual tip markers, great for hand lettering and fine detailing. The rubber nib on these is great for solid marks and varied line weights, and a color range allows for subtle transition and gradients. So, let's get these guys out of the box. Looks like we got a nice cool tone going all the way from some teals into some grays, and looks like they do have some names. So we have Pastel Mint, Sky Blue, Castle Blue, Blue, Violet, and Natural Gray number 7. Right off the bat, doesn't say whether it's water-based or alcohol-based, but I'm sure we'll figure that out once we get these open. Okay. I'm only going to do a quick show of the nibs on this one, so they'll all have the same nibs. As you can tell, they're a little bit more, how you would say, rubber than like brushy. It feels almost like you're pushing on an eraser a little bit, but it does have ink to it. So we have 2 nibs. We have a very fine and we have a very wide. And here is our wide one. It's very brushy, but it says it likes to do letters. It has a very nice flow to it. It does react a lot like a brush. It has a little bit more of a drag on it than what I would say like one of the watercolor brush markers that has more of a fiber feel to it. It's actually a very interesting feel to it. It's very different and I can't quite explain it. Definitely feels like I'm drawing with something that doesn't want to give as much as a brush. So that was one of our colors. Here's the next color, which is the Sky Blue. Very vivid. Then we have Castle Blue, which seems more like a purple than a blue. Then we have Blue. Then we have Violet. All these colors are very vivid. They come out of the marker very nicely. There is no resistance to them. Like they blend like if you were dragging your finger across, because your finger doesn't have as much give as bristles of a brush. So that's what it feels like most of the time. So if we wanted to do, let's see if they blend. So here we have our Sky Blue. And here we have our Blue. Just go back in and see if we can blend the two. It looks like there is a blending that could be done between them. So that's going to be fun. It does allow a nice gradient to form. And overall, there's no scent to it. So I'm still not certain if it's alcohol-based or if it's a water-based product. But let's move on to the next one, shall we? Okay, next we have a Sennelier ink brush, which looks to be this guy. So it looks like I'm already getting purple and blue on me all over the place. It came disassembled in my box, so here is the top. There's a barrier ring that goes between the two, so just make sure you remove that, which will allow the puncture part inside here. It's hard to get the light in, but it'll allow us to puncture the top of this as we twist it in. This is called Intense Gray. This bristled inked brush is great for traditional calligraphy and creating texture and fine detail. As you'll notice, the brush tip right now is white, but with just a little bit of squeeze coaxing, you'll see that we have the colors start to go in. Unlike the last one, this does look like it has bristles, so let's see. Oop. There we go, we have to break out the bristles like any new paintbrush, and let's see if we can get, oops. I pressed a little too hard and caused a bubble, which caused the ink to burst out. Once we get this going, you shouldn't have to keep squeezing constantly as you're working, but once the flow starts, it should just pull it down the brush to the rest of the bristles. So make sure you get a nice test piece. There we go. Okay, so this is our intense green. It works with more bristles than the last one, which is why you can see some more variance in the brush stroke. And also just ink in it. So it looks like it does take a little bit of pressure on it, but it reacts way more like a paint brush. It allows you to do some very fine lines and allows us to do some more washy areas. My intention of this one is, this is a watercolor brush. So out of curiosity, if this is a watercolor brush and this is a watercolor marker, I'm not seeing a whole lot of change between the two, but that could also just require that I need to work with it more to see if they actually do blend. But off the bat, not seeing a great amount of change or movement. So that is our watercolor ink brush. We've got a very nice green feel to all the products we have today so far. Our next up is a Zig Ultra Fine Brush Pen. Here we go. It says, actually, no, I'm sorry, this is not the brush pen. This is the Plume 2 brush marker in Suede. This brush marker also includes a fine liner, a perfect complement to the colors of this set. So here we have a wider brush, which this brush is much firmer, much firmer than the rubber nibs of the Twin Brush Set. And we have a bullet nib on this side, a very fine one. So here is our fine side. It reacts like most inking pens. It has a very nice flow to it. It allows a lot of great detail. And on this side, it's much stiffer than these guys, but it has more ink flow through it almost. As far as whether it's watercolor based or not, I am not certain. I'm going to see if we can blend brown and green, because it just seems in the moment to be the right color. It does look like I'm picking up some of it, but I'm more starting to pull up paper. As you can see, I got a piece of my paper rolled up on there because it got so saturated. I wouldn't say they're great at blending, but they'll probably be great at drawing items on top of it. There's a little bit of a bleed, but that could be due to the fact that I'm working on Bristol board. But so far, it is a nice color set. Okay, now we have the Zig Ultra Fine Brush Pen, which is in a lovely prepackaged. It says it's white. This twist activated brush pen is great for highlights and embellishment. Try layering it with the markers of this month's box for a 3D effect. It's very, sorry guys, very shiny. Ultra fine. So it looks like we have to twist this end to get inked into it. You know, just using myself as a canvas. Oh, there we go. So now we have a bubble here. It is a very thick pigment. I would say it's very close to a gouache. So let's see if we wanted to work over the colors we already have. It does stand out quite a lot. I'm curious to see how the twisting constantly goes. Like if we wanted to do outlines of things. So far it looks like I can get pretty far without having to twist it again. And it looks like if I press harder, I get a little bit more pigment out of it. The brush tip is very loose. Also proves that I think those markers are watercolor based because I am lifting it with this, which I can tell off the bat is not alcohol based. This is definitely a water based pigment, and in fact it says it right there. So I have no worries about getting that off my hand. It looks like it dries a bit more opaque, so maybe if I wanted to go back in and add another layer on top, it'll be thicker. But I can see how this would help with making a 3D effect, especially if you went in with several layers. So that one's gonna be fun. Definitely leaning towards maybe trying to draw my name in some lettering art for this picture. And finally in our box, we have the custom Clairefontaine mixed media pad, white 4x6 20 sheet. This heavyweight bright white paper is perfect for making any artwork really pop. As you can see, it's got some nice thickness, it's got some good give. As for the texture of it, it is very smooth. It doesn't have a lot of grit at all, so the marker should flow without anything bad about it. I'm glad that there's 20 pieces. That gives me a lot to play with versus the usual 10 that we get, or like in the last box we got 3 panels. So I'm super excited to try this out, and I think, yeah, I'm gonna go for a name-based thing. So to recap on what we got in the box today, we have the mixed media pad. We have, let's see if I can place it here with all the colors. Okay, we have the mixed media pad. And then we have the Ziggy brush. Then we have the Plume brush, followed by the ink brush and the Monami set that's dual toned. So it looks like it's gonna be a really fun box to work with. Definitely going to do some experimentation into naming or some lettering, maybe taking inspiration from the box of the Monami came in with this false shadow and these fades. Looks like it'll be really fun. Also, this artist really is trying to suggest that we do some lettering, so it'll be a fun experiment to try. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Check out my channel, see if I get my posts of my artwork up soon, and leave a comment if you have any tips or ideas of how to use this box. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.